To me, bookshelves are the ultimate form of self-expression, not too dissimilar to someone's curated list of wines in their cellar. So join me as we tour my classics bookshelf. Kick things off here in the home library. This will sort of be a pseudo apartment look around. As we go through this, I have classic books stashed in various other places around my abode, just the way I like to do things. But we'll kick things off here in the home office. The camera is simply shifted about 30 degrees to where it normally is for my videos, and this is where the classics begin. Won't go through every book, but these are some of fan favorites, or well, that's why they're on this shelf in every single camera shot. We have my Oxford Illustrated Jane Austen complete set, her completed works in the Oxford Illustrated edition. Came out in 1987. Spent a good deal of time hunting these down across the country, so very excited to have the entire set. Next to that, we have the full complete Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. These were, I think these are first edition book club editions. These were my late grandfather's copies himself that he read from. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this set goes for like $500 or something. Obviously worth more to me than that. They've seen better days for sure, but they're laminated, and when I do read Sherlock Holmes, we'll be definitely glad to have this complete set. We'll just keep things going. There's a reason that only one book in my whole library has its own private shelf and, I guess, stand. I get shout out my picture of my girlfriend and her dog. Need to shout out, but we have Heaven Has No Favorites by Remarque, one of my favorite books of all time. A classic love tale involving cars, the snow, and hospitals. What else could you want? This is the first edition that I luckily got on Thrift Books, and it's laminated as well, so this is my display copy. And then shout out Holy Bible, one time, sits up top, you know where it goes. Shelf 1, we got 4 other shelves to get to, so I will see you there. Alrighty, my second shelf. The majority of my classics are on shelves like this little tree design. I think they're pretty cool. I got them for Christmas a couple of years ago. So I got one, filled it up rather quickly, and then immediately bought a second one. I'll link them down below if they at all interest you. I think they're pretty inexpensive, if I am not mistaken. But yeah, I think they're just nice to have out, and they sort of set the vibe for the classics. Like I said, I won't go through all of them. I'll give some highlights, some of my favorites. I'll probably do like a B-roll shot of a close-up of every shelf, just so you can see, take your time and see each book, but some shout outs, maybe books I want to read, books that were really good, and recommendations. We'll just go from there. I guess I'm making this video up as we go, but let's get into it. On this shelf, some honorable mentions. A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. This book just screams spring vibes to me. A great one nonetheless. East of Eden, I need to get to that one. I just see this one all over my page, and that is something I need to remedy. Obviously, the big epics by Tolstoy. Enough said about that. War and Peace, Anna Karenina. Need to get to those. We have some just good adventure tales that are, if you're sort of new to classic books and you want to pick up classics just for whatever reason, highly recommend books like Treasure Island or any of the books by Jules Verne. I have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sun, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Around the World in 80 Days. They still hold up today. They're just sort of good adventure tales. Not a whole lot to say about that. They're Got a couple of them here. Let's see, anything else of note? I have Huck Finn, obviously. And then basically have gone through and collected all the books I read in school, in high school, and now I'm rereading them as an adult. Things like The Giver, The Catcher in the Rye, Lord of the Flies, 1984, Frankenstein, Siddhartha, To Kill a Mockingbird. Slowly working my way through the oeuvre of high school literature, and yeah, down at the bottom you can't see it because my camera's stupid. I have my mom's copies of her favorite books. She gifted these to me when I think when I moved out of the house. So we have A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. I haven't read this one yet, but it's a nice hardback. And then obviously the GOAT, Moby Dick. Enough said. I've made plenty of videos on that on my channel. And then we have some poetry down here. Got Paradise Lost and The Epic of Gilgamesh. I guess this isn't poetry. This book is sort of neat. This is, I think it is seen as one of the first ever stories ever written. I think it was written on like walls by prehistoric humans or something like that. And I think it came out like it dropped in Mesopotamia or something. But yeah, I think it's written like in a poetic form, I believe. This is just one of those, it's one of those exquisite, not exclusive, but like those books that you sort of just need to read. The Epic of Gilgamesh. I guess I got Paradise Lost, and then I got a bunch of plays down here. Got some of the Greek tragedies, and then I have the whole complete works of Shakespeare in a giant volume. That definitely, that's why I can't pick up this bookshelf, because that was what anchors it to the floor. Enough said. I'll meet you at the next shelf. This video is already getting interesting. Welcome to my floor. This is sort of the creme de la creme of my my collection of classics. This is the complete Oxford Illustrated Charles Dickens collection. 21 volumes of his completed works, even his essays on his travels, and even his uncompleted story, The Mystery of Edwin Drood. That is all in here. And this sits right underneath my TV. It is sort of, like I said, the focal point of my apartment, so to speak. I'm very happy to have found a great deal of these online. They're held up by these hand-carved African bookends that my dad got for me on his medical mission trip over there. I think they sort of complete the look. Good highlights here, obviously A Christmas Carol. It's taken in his Christmas books. Great Expectations was great, even with no expectations, pun intended. Some books I want to get to. Some of you recommended Dombey and Son, since I liked, what was it? I think it was Great Expectations so much. Recommended Dombey and Son. That one is thick. I think it's his longest book. Between that or Bleak House, or one of his longest ones, so need to get around to that one. I've read Pickwick Papers, his first novel. I think that one is fun, a good place to start with Dickens. And then David Copperfield, another one I need to get to, probably obviously for the good story, but then also Demon Copperhead has been a book for quite some time that's been wildly popular. So this, like I said, sort of the focal point of my living room, right underneath the TV. Does get quite dusty under here, but I try to dust it, whatever, once a month or so, just to keep them looking good. And like I said, that's sort of the crown jewel of my classics collection. A couple more right behind us, and then we'll hit the other shelf. Okay, welcome to my floor again. I really should have thought this out, but here we are. This is my coffee table. As you can see, books galore underneath it. We'll start off here in this little cubby down here. This is just sort of philosophy and essays, critiques, things of that nature. We have Either Or by Soren Kierkegaard. I haven't read any of these. We have Fear and Trembling by him as well. We have the Five Dialogues by Plato, and then Nicomachean Ethics. I don't know why I bought these. I think I was in some philosophical mood one day and purchased all of them within a brief part of time, and there they have sat ever since. Enough said, I suppose. This little colorful stack down here, this is my collection of the ever illustrious Icelandic classic author Halldór Laxness, one of my favorite books of all time. On the end there, Independent People. I have preached this book to the choir and back many, many times. Check this book out. If I have one book recommendation for this whole video, probably this one. So good. I've most of his books in this vintage publisher collection. I think they just go well together and they look nice, so I keep them out there. We got Iceland's Bell, Under the Glacier, Paradise Reclaimed, World Light, and Wayward Heroes. Probably pick up World Light next of his. Stay tuned. That is it for my coffee table books. Let's get off the freaking ground and meet me at this last shelf there. Okay, back in a chair, thank goodness. Last shelf here, this is the first of these tree shelves I acquired, and I tried to do them in like alphabetical order by author. I've gotten so many that I've sort of given up on that hope. Some good ones here to note. Like I said, I'll do some close-ups so you can see the full collection. Good ones here to note that I have read or I'm looking to read. Clockwork Orange is very unique. Definitely recommend that one. Looking to read Master and Margarita. Plan to have a video on that when I do read it. This one just seems sort of right up my alley as well. I got the whole, obviously all the works of Dostoevsky here. Count of Monte Cristo, that one takes up half of its own shelf. So, but it's worth it. It's paying rent. It's paying its dividends. What else? Les Mis. This is another brick of a book. This is one of my bucket list books that I want to get to. Need more French literature in my life, along with French food. What else? Oh, Notes from Underground. This is sort of the top book here by Dostoevsky. I thought this was my first book by him. Probably not the best to start with, Notes from Underground, but I thought it was interesting enough. Obviously, clearly I bought the rest of his works. The Jungle Book. I did not know this was a book, as lame as that sounds. I saw this in Half Price Books one day and was like, no, it can't be. Like, it's a movie, it can't be a book. But clearly in the name it says a Jungle Book. Apparently it's two books, Jungle Book and the second Jungle Book. They're both in this edition. And yeah, this one was quite a nice surprise to find at the bookstore. What else is down here? Joyce. Some of the westerns, like Larry McMurtry. I don't even know, those like modern classics. They're just thrown in there as well. Same with Cormac McCarthy. I have some like reference books down here too. First off, How to Read a Book. Oh, not on the camera. How to Read a Book by Mortimer J. Adler. I've flipped through, I haven't read this cover to cover, but I've read a couple of passages and it is interesting. I don't think it's wholly necessary, but if that sort of topic interests you, how to get more out of reading, definitely pick up this book as well. And then I picked up this book as when I got Ulysses, because I plan on reading that, I think this year. The New Bloomsday book is sort of a chapter by chapter guide along James Joyce's Ulysses. And yeah, what else to note on this shelf? Like I said, I'll do close-ups of each one. Got The Road down there by McCarthy. couple of Faulkners in there. I'm kind of scared to pick him up. I have As I Lay Dying and The Sound and the Fury. Maybe I will be brave enough to pick up some William Faulkner, great American writer. Oh, Great Gatsby, that's another high school read. I like that the second time around, not as much as I thought I would, but hey, good book nonetheless. Yeah, this one, I like this top shelf. I like how colorful it is. It's very, I don't know, pleasing to the eyes, hence why it sits in my living room at all times. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'll show anything. Oh, another book I didn't know was a book. I thought it was just a movie. Cheaper by the Dozen. I did not know this was originally a book. Again, wandering through half-price books and found it. I was like, dang, that's coming home with me. I think it was $3 too, so might as well. This one is one I need to get to eventually. Not like it's just a feel-good classic tale. So yeah, that one is sitting down here as well. Not missing a whole lot that you can't see. Just like reference books, and then my big Larry McMurtry Westerns down there. So we will leave it at that. Let me know down below, did you enjoy this type of video? I thought it was sort of fun. Like I said, I'll do some close-ups of the shelves so you can peruse them at your own pace. Appreciate you joining me on this bookshelf tour. Let me know down below. What should you let me know down below? How do you organize your bookshelves? Do you do it? I don't know why I do it differently. My classics I organize alphabetically by author last name, but my other shelves I just sort of throw them on there and see what's what. Funnily enough, I guess I can never find the book I'm looking for. Either way, I organize it, so here we are. The more you know. But yeah, let me know down below, how do you organize your bookshelves? And I think we will leave it at that. As always, if you're new here, consider subscribing. The channel growth has been insane this past month, so appreciate it if you join along for the ride. Give it a like if you liked it, so other readers around can stumble upon this video and all that YouTube stuff. And we will catch you in the next one. Appreciate you watching up until this point. Have a great rest of your day.